On a stormy night, a woman is drowning in a shipwreck. Edmond Dantes jumps into the water, saves her, and brings her on their ship. Captain Danglars comes and hits him, questioning why he ignores his order. He grounds him for the rest of the journey. Danglars tells the worker to take the girl inside before seizing a letter. The letter is sent by Napoleon to his followers. At this time, Napoleon is removed from power and living in a secluded place on the island of Elba. While Napoleon's followers dream of his return, the loyalists hunt them and kill them. The country is in a chaotic civil war. When the ship returns to the shore in the morning, the girl asks Danglars for her letter. But Danglars demand money, or he will take the letter to loyalists. The girl threatens him and says that she has powerful friends, and they will kill him if he does that, and leaves. After getting out of the ship, she goes to Edmond and thanks him for saving her life, and introduces herself as Angele. She says she will never forget his courage, and leaves. Danglars report Edmond's actions to the ship owner Morel and say he will no longer sail with him, but Morel dismisses Danglars and fires him, and makes Edmond the new captain of the ship for his bravery. Edmond goes to meet with Mercedes and tells her the good news. Being captain means they can get married now. Edmond then goes to his father and tells him the good news. His father asks him to share the good news with their boss Morcerf family, who paid for Edmond's naval studies. Morcerf family hosts a feast to celebrate. Morcerf raises a toast and congratulates him. Mercedes also comes there as she is Morcerf's cousin. The three of them then go out to enjoy themselves. Edmond tells him that he will marry soon as he has become captain, and his fiancée is none other than Mercedes. Morcerf is surprised and hugs both of them, but he is fuming with anger as he is in love with Mercedes. Edmond and Mercedes are getting married in the church. Suddenly, the police come and tell them they have an arrest warrant for Edmond. Despite many protests, they arrest him and take him to Gérard de Villefort, Marseille's deputy prosecutor. Villefort shows him the letter from Napoleon which they found in his cabin. He inquires about it, and Edmond tells him the whole story about the woman he saved. Villefort asks the name of a woman, and he says it is Angele, which makes his expression change for a second, and then he asks if he has shared this information with anyone beside him. He says no. Villefort then ensures that everything will be fine, but he just has to wait for a minute as he inquires his other shipmate. Mercedes is impatient, but her mother says Morcerf will bring her home. Morcerf goes to Villefort. As he enters the room, he sees Villefort talking to a Danglars and Caterhos, another shipworker. Villefort tells Morcerf that Edmond is accused of being a Bonapartism, and the two men are the witness. But if he can vouch for his friend, then he can free him. But Morcerf says no. He will not vouch for him, as this may damage their family reputation. But the secret reason is now he can have Mercedes. He returns home and tells Mercedes they can't do anything now, as she breaks down in tears. Edmond waits outside as some guards come and think that they will take him home, but to his shock, he is now arrested. Edmond protests, but they assault him and take him by force. Villefort goes to meet his mistress Victoria, where he finds his sister, Angele. She asks why he has put Edmond in jail, despite knowing he is innocent. Villefort says he did it to save her, but Angele says that he did it only to save his reputation and threatens to tell the authorities the truth if he does not free Edmond. Villefort attacks and knocks her out. 4 years later, Chateau prison. Edmond is a weak prisoner, living a miserable life. One day, he hears a sound in the wall and finds a crack. As he opens it, he finds a man. The man asks his name, and he tells him, but before they can talk, the guards come for their routine check, and the man leaves. Edmond breaks the crack, and via the tunnel the man has dug, he enters his cell. He welcomes him and tells him his name is Abbé Faria. He is digging a tunnel toward the sea to escape. He asks Edmond to join as well. This may take years, but they don't have anything to do. One day, Faria asks if he knows Italian and how much education he has. Edmond says he only knows how to sail. Faria decides to teach him English, Latin, Arabic, math, and many things which a man needs. Edmond digs and learns things from Faria. Edmond says that he wants revenge against the people who put him here, but after listening to this, Faria shares a story with him. During the Crusades, a group of knights amassed great treasure. The jealous king ordered their arrest, leading to their demise one by one. One knight, however, escaped to Monte Cristo with the treasure and took Abbé Faria as his squire to prepare for revenge. Before executing his plan, the knight died, leaving the treasure to Faria. After they escape this prison, Edmond can have half of the treasure. After digging for nearly 10 years, Faria finds salt water, meaning they are close. But suddenly the tunnel collapses and falls on Faria. Edmond takes him toward his cell and wants to call guards, but Faria stops him and asks him to flee alone and go to Monte Cristo to inherit all the wealth. The guards are doing their routine checks. After not getting any answer from Faria, they get down to check and find Faria dead. They put him in a sack and go out to check something. Edmund sees Chance put himself inside the bag. The guard takes his body and is ready to throw it in the water. Another guard goes to check Edmund's cell, but upon not receiving any answer, he goes down and finds Faria in his place. He calls other guards, but they have already thrown the sack in the water. After falling into the water, Edmund frees himself and swims away. He goes to their old house. There, a woman pointing a gun asks him about his business. He asks the whereabouts of everyone. The woman says his father died after he went to prison, and Mercedes and Morcerf are married and now living in Paris. Saddened by the news, Edmund goes to shore and takes an empty ship and starts his journey to the island of Monte Cristo. He reaches there, following Faria's instructions, and reaches a tunnel. After going inside, he discovers the hidden treasure. 1 year later, in the shipyard of Marseille, Edmund disguises himself as an old man and meets with the Caterhouse, an old accomplice of Danglars. There he learns how Danglars and Villefort had conspired against him, and Moncorf also accompanied them, as he wanted to marry Mercedes. He says he wanted to help Edmund, but he was scared. He reveals that Angelus wanted to help him, but Villefort abducted her and gave her to Danglars, and Danglars sold her in a brothel. Edmund goes to the brothel and finds Angelus there on her deathbed. She tells him that after she was sold, she escaped and went to take revenge, but she found Villefort burying his illegitimate child that he had with his mistress. Seeing this, she chooses to rescue the child and bring it back to the brothel, but the child is separated from her. His last wish for Edmund is to find the child and rescue him. Edmund finds the boy André and asks him to join hands with him so they can take revenge on Villefort, and says his name is Count of Monte Cristo. In Paris, Fernand de Morcerf is getting an award from Gerard de Villefort for his contribution to the French army. Villefort talks about his accomplishments. When Passat of Zinger, Bulgaria was attacked by Ottomans, he fought bravely but was unable to defeat them, resulting in Passat and his family's death. Edmund, as Count Monte Cristo, watches all this and leaves when the crowd starts to applaud. Moncrief is in a cart with his wife Mercedes and his son Albert. They are talking when suddenly a man comes and steals the medal that he was awarded. Albert runs after him, but is soon cornered by a group of people. They attack him, but Edmund comes to his rescue and shoots the perpetrator. As Albert thanks him, André comes from behind and hits him, and he faints. All the men get up as the fight is completely orchestrated. Before leaving, Edmund leaves his guns there. Albert and his father go to meet Count of Monte Cristo, but they are awestruck seeing his wealth. They meet with the Count and thank him for saving his son. Fernand invites him to join a hunt with his friend. Count says he is entertaining Prince Cavalcanti, so he can't join, so Fernand invites him as well. Count asks Albert to stay for a bit, and he agrees, but Morcerf leaves. As Albert wanders in the castle, he finds a woman singing. As he listens to her, Count comes there and says the woman's name is Haiti, and she is like his daughter. Albert wants to be introduced to her. Count agrees, but makes him promise that he will never fall in love with her, as she is scarred by her past. Albert agrees, so Count introduces him with Haiti. Little does he know that this entire act was already planned by Edmund, Andres, and Haiti together. Count prepares Andres to act like Prince Cavalcanti. The day of the hunt comes. Morcerf introduces Count and Cavalcanti to Danglars and Villefort. As the hunt begins, they catch a deer. Danglars gives the knife to Count. He refuses and says he only kills for self-defense. Cavalcanti volunteers and kills the deer while looking at his father with hate in his eyes. In the dining room, Morcerf introduces his wife Mercedes to Count. Mercedes is taken aback after seeing him, but she soon pulls herself together and thanks Count for saving her son. Edmund, in his house, reading the letter Fernand wrote against him. Haiti wakes up from a nightmare of how her father was killed by Morcerf. A dinner party hosted by Fernand, where Cavalcanti tries to get close to Danglars' daughter. Count and the other boys play cards when Danglars shows interest in the prince and asks Count about him. Count says that his father has sent him there to meet a woman to marry, as they need an heir for their dynasty. Fernand says there is a new Englishman who has come to the town named Lord Halifax. Count says he doesn't like the man, as he buys newspapers and puts false news to decline the share of a company to buy for himself. Count takes leave with Haiti and André when Albert gives back a fan to Haiti. Inside, there is a secret letter asking her out. As per their plan, she goes to meet him, but surprisingly, Haiti seems to have a good time with him. After coming home, Count asks if she is falling for Albert and reminds her what his father did to them. Haiti says that she remembers everything and she will take her revenge. Count hosts a dinner party at his new house. Villefort and his mistress, who is now Danglars' wife, are shocked to see the place, as it is where Villefort buried their child and told her that the boy died. At the dinner, everyone asks him why he bought the place, to which he says that the house is cursed, which intrigues him. He says that earlier that night he felt the presence of a ghost who, to him, he was buried there. Danglars' wife gets scared and screams, while Villefort says this is just superstition and vogus. Count says he found a box under the ground and he wants to open it in front of the guests. He opens the box, but there is nothing. Villefort sighs in relief. Danglars' wife goes to meet Villefort and asks him about the empty box and how Count got to know about it. Villefort says he will inquire about it, he meets with the Count's enemy, Lord Helfax.
Helfax says the Count is a very odd man, as one time he got angry with him for hitting a servant and challenged him to duel. Villefort asks if Count has ever been to Paris before, but he denies it. Villefort feels assured and leaves.
This is already predicted by Edmund, as he is disguised as Lord Helix, and now Villefort, thinking that he is harmless, takes his guard down.
Things are moving as planned.
Danglars' daughter is falling in love with Andres, and Albert is with Haiti. On one occasion, Mercedes meets Count and asks him if she can consider him as a friend. Count ensures that. She asks why he is not married to anyone. Count says he loved a woman and was about to marry when war came and he had to go away. After he came back, the girl was already married. She asks if he ever forgives that girl.
Count says only if she asks for forgiveness. Mercedes says, what if she is asking now? Before the Count says anything, there is a commotion outside, and the Count goes to check. A newspaper has printed that Danglars' boats have been captured by pirates. Danglars, furious, asks Fernand to use his military sources and find the ship. Fernand brings the news. The ship is safe, and the news is fake.
Danglars, being greedy, says he will buy the company stock. Right now, the price has dropped after the false news, and he will make a fortune by selling them after the real news spreads and the prices go up. But he does not have enough capital to purchase the stock, so they seek help from the Count. In return for the money, he bonds all his wealth to Count. The next day, Villefort announces a trial against Lord Halifax for spreading false news. But Halifax has sent a letter that at 2 p.m., a representative will give testimony on his behalf. At 2 p.m., Villefort asks the man to present himself. Suddenly, Andre stands up and goes to the stand and declares his representative of Lord Halifax. When asked about the accusation of the false report, he says it's not false. The ship is truly missing. On the other hand, Caterhouse and his goons have attacked and looted the ships, as Edmund visited him earlier and asked him to do it as retribution. Andre then declares his real identity and reveals Villefort to be his father and how he lied to his mother and was buried in the ground at birth. The courtroom goes silent in shock. The judge agrees to take Villefort into custody as a thorough investigation will take place. Danglars, now bankrupt, goes to Count to ask for more time to repay his loan. But Count says that all his wealth now belongs to him and he should leave Paris with his wife, as they are practically beggars now. Danglars stands there in shock as he has lost everything. Andres goes to Villefort and stabs him to death. As he was about to leave, the guards shot him dead. Haiti, heartbroken, holds Andres as he dies in her arms. Haiti is slowly losing her trust in Edmund, as she believes that it's because of him that Andres is dead. Edmund says that he never asked Andres to kill him, but she dismisses him and leaves. He reminds her what happened to her father and asks her not to forget. Haiti sends a letter to Albert saying he must forget her. Seeing the letter, Albert goes to Count's house and meets Haiti. Haiti asks him to leave if he truly loves her. Albert says if he can't be with her, he will end his life. Seeing this, Haiti's heart melts and they prepare to flee. But Count comes there and stops them. He asks her to reveal her true identity to Albert or he will. Haiti, forced, confesses that she is the daughter of Pasha of Zinger. His father conspired with the Ottoman and killed her father despite being his bodyguard and sold her as a slave. Albert can't fathom this betrayal and challenges Count for a duel. Mercedes comes to Count's house and calls him Edmund and asks him not to kill her son. Edmund is surprised and tries to deny, but Mercedes says she recognized him the first day. Edmund gives her the letter that Fernand wrote against him and tells her that he must have his revenge. Mercedes says he can have his revenge on Fernand but not her son. On the day of the duel, Edmund shoots outside to spare Albert's life. Albert is also unable to shoot. Edmund brings him to Haiti and asks them to leave and be happy with each other. Mercedes also leaves Fernand forever. Angry, Fernand goes to Count with a sword to avenge for ruining his life. They start a sword fight, but Count falls from the balcony, but regains his strength and starts again and breaks Fernand's sword. But he puts the broken sword inside Edmund. Edmund falls on the ground as Fernand approaches to kill him, but Edmund defeats him with swift action. Fernand asks to be killed, but Edmund leaves him alive as he has to live the rest of his life picking pieces. Mercedes finds a letter from Edmund in which he mentions that he has left his estate and is embarking on a life of travel. Albert and Haiti will now live the life that was taken away from them. At last he writes, "All human wisdom is contained in these two words, wait and hope," as he sails away in the sea. So this was the recap of the movie The Count of Monte Cristo 2024. For a movie recap like this, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like this, you may also like this.